Primary races are next May, and of course the general election next year in November. Our last candidate to speak on the U.S. Senate race is Dr. Rand Paul.
Apparently, there are 7 words that you cannot say on national television. After listening to Jack Conway at Fancy Farm, apparently there are 7 words you can't say at a church picnic. In the latter days of the Roman Empire, they placated the mob with bread and circuses, food and entertainment, distractions because the Vandals were at the gates. In modern day America, they placate you with cash for clunkers or with stimulus money. Just go to the mall. Spend your money at the mall. Everything's okay. But no one asks the hard question. Where does the money come from? We currently owe $700 billion to the Chinese, $700 billion to the Japanese, $100 billion to the Saudis. We are the greatest debtor nation known to man. We are spending money at $53,000 a second. Interest on the national debt is $30 billion a month. For a lot of us, it's tough to conceive. What is a billion? Well, if you think about it, 1 billion seconds ago, it was 1959. 1 billion minutes ago, Jesus was alive. 1 billion hours ago was the Stone Age. But $1 billion ago, at the rate the federal government spends it, was 7 minutes ago. Things are out of control in Washington, and you will not get it, Republican or Democrat, by simply electing more career politicians. I propose that they be limited. Let's limit their terms. Let's bring them home. Even if you are lucky enough to get a good person to go to Washington, they become corrupted by the process. The process corrupts them, the special interest money corrupts them, and we need to limit their terms. Likewise with the budget, you have to do something about it. The Republicans doubled the debt from $5 to $10 trillion. The first Democrat budget is now $1.75 trillion in 1 year. 13% of our gross national product is debt this year. It is out of control, and you must have some new rules. For many years, we've talked about a balanced budget amendment. We have to have something like that, or they will not be restrained. In Kentucky, they have to balance the budget by law. 30 states out of 50 have to balance their budget. We can argue, Republican and Democrat, on where it's going to be spent, but in the end, it has to be balanced. Contrast that with California. California is so far off the deep end that we will be paying taxes in Kentucky to bail them out. Contrast that with the federal government, which simply has a printing press. They spend and spend and print money. We doubled the monetary base last year. You will get inflation. The debt leads to rising prices, and you will pay rising prices at the pump and in the store because your dollar is not of value. You are losing the value of your dollar. They are stealing the value of your dollar. You will not get there by electing any old politician. You will only get there by electing a candidate who will promise not to vote for any unbalanced budget. Republican or Democrat, I will not vote for any budget that is not balanced. To every appropriation bill, I will introduce an amendment reducing the spending by what it would take to balance the budget. If we're 20% over budget, we'll reduce each appropriation bill by 20%. Unless you have someone who has the guts to do it, it won't be done. I'm Rand Paul. You can visit me at my website, randpaul2010.com. I'm running for the U.S. Senate as a Republican, and we're going to shake them up, and we're going to win this race. I thank you very much for inviting me today.